Star Trek has its fair share of no-nonsense characters in its almost 60-year legacy. However, one admiral in particular is noted for clashing of two of our hero characters. This is Admiral Alynna Nechayev. She appeared in Star Trek The Next Generation, where she clashed with Captain Jean-Luc Picard on multiple occasions. But what about her future in the Star Trek universe? You really enjoyed our look at the fate of Admiral William Ross from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, so now we're diving in to look at the fate of Admiral Nechayev. Let's go. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host, Captain Jack. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. We're enjoying making these Star Trek videos on various topics, and we hope you are too. If you want to support their development, please join our Patreon via the link below. You'll get exclusive access to videos and events, as well as more Galaxy class rewards. As always, please let us know your thoughts on this in the comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. Also, which Star Trek character should we look at next? Get commenting. Okay, engage. As a flag officer in Starfleet, much of Admiral Nechayev's career before the events of Star Trek The Next Generation dealt with the Cardassian Union. Due to the Cardassian border wars and the effect they had, Nechayev was a fierce advocate of the security of the United Federation of Planets. It appears her position at Starfleet Command gave her direct oversight of the Galaxy-class USS Enterprise D, and her commanding officer, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. While this was the case, a working relationship with Picard was quite poor. In 2369, at the rank of Vice Admiral, she ordered Picard to relinquish command of the Enterprise D to Captain Edward Jellicoe. She reassigned Picard to a top-secret mission to infiltrate a Cardassian installation. Nechayev was promoted to the rank of Starfleet Fleet Admiral in 2370. During this time, she visited the Enterprise D once again. Given her previous frustrations with Picard, to which she believed the captain had a soft approach in dealing with Federation adversaries, Jean-Luc tried to make amends with Nechayev. The tension between the two was not resolved, mainly due to the situation over the Native American colonists on Dorvan 5. Picard was not the only Starfleet officer that seemed to endure Nechayev's blunt approach. Benjamin Sisko, while dealing with the Marquis, also had to deal with the Fleet Admiral. Nechayev visited Deep Space Nine, as she played a key role in the Federation Cardassian Treaty and also oversaw the response to the Marquis insurrection, after they kidnapped Gul Dukat. Sisko was particularly taken back by his conversation with the Fleet Admiral, especially given her response to how the Marquis should be treated. But what happened to Nechayev in the future of the Star Trek universe? Let's take a look. Before the likes of Star Trek Picard came along and continued the Star Trek universe into the 25th century, a bunch of fantastic books were released, which continued the stories of many main and secondary characters from shows like The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Star Trek Voyager. To continue Admiral Nechayev's story, we'll be looking at some of these books. Don't worry, we'll include the links in the video description to where you can find and read them for yourself. Of course, as we're talking about books, we will be using reference footage on your screens. In 2376, Admiral Nechayev was the lead Starfleet officer in the Genesis Wave crisis. Due to the severity of the crisis, Nechayev was personally overseeing the evacuation of many planets. Thankfully, Picard and the crew of the Sovereign-class USS Enterprise E were able to prevent the wave from striking Earth. However, Nechayev was not so lucky. The Admiral sustained injuries which left her face temporarily disfigured. This was due to her being on a planet that was hit by the Genesis wave. Although protected, Nechayev was given a mutagenic soil which was able to heal her burns and save her life. This gave her an almost two-face effect on her appearance. Later, the Admiral underwent surgery to restore her face. These events are told through the Next Generation novel, The Genesis Wave. In 2379, Admiral Nechayev was one of the 5 Starfleet admirals, along with Admiral William Ross and Captain Jean-Luc Picard, that decided the fate of Federation President Min Zayf. This was following the disastrous Tezwan affair. To cut a long story short, during the Dominion War, the Prime Minister of Tezwa, known as Kinchwan, had made an under-the-table deal with Federation President Min Zayf's Chief of Staff. This deal involved the Federation arming the planet of Tezwa with several Nadion pulse cannons as a precautionary measure against the Dominion. The Prime Minister then sold material aid from the Federation on the black market through the Orion Syndicate, rather than using it to assist the Tezwan planetary population. But back to Admiral Nechayev. During a revelation of what President Min-Zayf had done, Nechayev pressed especially hard for the position that Zayf should be removed from office and punished for what he had done. A group of admirals, and Picard, decided to force Zayf and his senior aides to step down, but not reveal the details of the Tezwan affair. Nechayev was rather upset that this was helping to cover up the president's crimes. Eventually, she was convinced that this action was for the good of the Federation. A short time later, Admiral Nechayev confronted President Zayf, along with Admirals William Ross and Nakamura. This was with the threat of exposing his actions to the world. She then watched as Zayf was escorted away by agents of Section 31. These events are told through the Next Generation novel, A Time to Heal. In 2380, the Borg Collective was stepping up its attacks on the Federation and its allies. Admiral Nechayev witnessed the destruction of Pluto by a Borg supercube. During this, she was stationed at Starfleet Command. Later that year, Nechayev was in contact with Picard and the USS Enterprise E, following the discovery of a Borg assimilated Einstein. She tasked the Enterprise to intercept and destroy the vessel at all costs. The Borg commenced a full invasion of the Alpha Quadrant in 2381. Admiral Nechayev informed the USS Enterprise that the invasion was underway, and the planet Borrelia had already been leveled by the Collective's invasion. The Enterprise was then equipped with new transphasic torpedoes, which were the only effective weapon against the Borg. Picard would argue with Nechayev to spread the specifications to other vessels in the Federation fleet, but she refused to do so. Nechayev believed that greater use would provide the Borg more opportunities to study and adapt to the new weapon. Additionally, the Admiral believed that communicating with specifications over subspace channels could lead to its interception and decryption. While Nechayev understood Picard's position, she had the difficult role of overseeing the entire war effort in terms of numbers and being specific over who lived and died and what decisions were made. As the Borg invasion of 2381 continued, Nechayev would still oversee war planning sessions. She was a part of a briefing at Starfleet Command, which included high-ranking Starfleet admirals and officials like 7 of 9. Despite confidence in her plans, Admiral Nechayev would still advocate for the moderate use of the transphasic torpedoes. However, while Admiral Nechayev was being tactical, Admiral Edward Jellicoe overruled the security directive and distributed the specifications of the transphasic torpedoes to all Starfleet ships and stations, as well as the allies in the Klingon Defense Force. Nechayev communicated with Captain Picard, Captain Dax, and Captain Riker once they reappeared in the Azure Nebula. She gave the 3 captains full authority to do whatever they could, but to maintain operational security and not brief her. Nechayev, along with Admiral Jellicoe and Nakamura, monitored the Borg attacks on Vulcan, Andor, Corridon 3, Rigel, and the Klingon homeworld of Kronos from a secure bunker in Starfleet Command headquarters. Nechayev, along with her colleagues, hoped that history would remember that they at least tried to fight the Borg. The tide of the war changed when the Borg mysteriously began to fire on each other. Jellicoe took the short-lived opportunity and issued an order for all remaining Starfleet assets to engage. After the Borg invasion was defeated, Nechayev issued new orders to Captain Ezri Dax of the USS Aventine to assist in coordinating the rescue and recovery operations of the Alpha Quadrant for the next few months. Nechayev's actions during the Borg invasion were told through the Star Trek Destiny novels Gods of Night, Mere Mortals, and Lost Souls. During the year of 2386, Section 31 and its operations were exposed to the public. As such, Admiral Nechayev's role in the forced removal of former President Min-Zayf from public office became public knowledge. Nechayev was taken into Federation custody for her role in Zayf's removal. First, agents tracked the Admiral to her home in upstate New York. Even though Federation Security Agency officers used the transporter inhibitor, Nechayev was able to disable the device and beam herself to a condo in Mexico. Agents soon tracked her to that location and prevented her from beaming to another location by cutting the power to her home. Before the Admiral could escape on foot, Nechayev was cornered by the agents. She attempted to put up a fight but was quickly stunned and arrested. During the investigation, it was found that Nechayev maintained at least 4 safe houses on Earth and perhaps many more off-world safe houses at her disposal. Following her arrest by the FSA, Nechayev was held in San Francisco to await court-martial by tribunal. Following the murder of Admiral William Ross by Officer Margaret Dempsey, which was in retaliation for the death of her husband, Starfleet and the FSA revamped security measures and decided it was even more vital for Nechayev and other high-value targets to be kept alive in order to get the most information possible about Section 31 and their dealings. The events of this are told from the Next Generation novels, Hearts and Minds, and Available Light. Sadly, the story of Admiral Nechayev ends there. With her arrest and public exposure of her dealings with Section 31, the career of Fleet Admiral Nechayev basically was ruined. While Admiral Ross was killed, it seemed Admiral Nechayev remained in custody and was likely sent to prison for her actions. Ultimately, we don't know the definitive fate of her at the moment. So that is the fate of Admiral Nechayev in the Star Trek universe. What do you think about how this character turned out? Do you think it matches what we saw in The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, or do you think the character would have gone a different route? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. A big thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Your support allows us to continue making these Galaxy class videos. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.